Okay, so what comes with this package here is they give you a short washer, or sorry, a short bolt, a long bolt, a nut, and a spring. And then this side, they give you just a spring in this. So what you do is you have these two, and here's your mount. You would line up your mount just to show you how it's going to go on afterwards. First thing you do is bolt your mount. Next thing you do is you see that bolt that they've already pre-installed in there. You take your short bolt, you put your lock washer on it, and then you would tie that screw onto there. But before you do that, before we tie this on, first we have to mount our mounting bracket. So I've cleaned up one of the sides where the bolt used to be over here. The first thing you're going to want to do is take your mounting plate, put it like this. You're going to put your big long bolt, which is right here. See how it locks in there, so you don't need a screwdriver on this side? All you do is you go like this. And now they don't give you a washer. I highly suggest you put on a big fender washer like that. So you put your fender washer on the bolt, put your lock washer on, and then you put your nut on and tighten it up real tight onto here. And then after that, we can mount our light bar with that the shortest bolt with the lock washer, squeezing that into here and hold it into position. As you can see, this is what it looks like with the new 7 inches put on here rather than the pods that were on there. I think it looks pretty cool. We've spread them out a little bit, and we'll have to see what it looks like with the light bar on. The next thing is, as you can see, it's really cool because you can slide them up and down this bracket because of those bolts. So as you slide it up and down, you'll set it either all the way or you can make them almost connect in the center. Do whatever you like. We have them all the way to the edge, and I've bolted these right down and in, and they're in there nice and tight. And those lock washers will make sure they won't back off. If for some reason I start noticing they are, I'll kind of go from there. But the next thing I'm going to do is we're actually going to reuse those plugs because we have readily access to these quick disconnects. So again, these are made by Rigid, so if you want quick disconnects on your light bars, you can either go pick that up or look for your own waterproof connector. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to solder on those quick disconnects so we can plug them in. And after we do that, then I can clean up the wire. A couple ways you can do this. It just depends on how much wire you want exposed. So what I'm going to be doing is I'll probably tuck this in right here so it's very minimal. See that? Just goes down into there, and then I'll go down into our crawl space down here and I will mess with it a little bit. If you want, and you want to just easily do it, you could just, if you don't care about seeing this much of it, you could seriously just tuck it in under the grill, bring it up over here by the light. But I'd rather go in underneath it. I'm going to bring it back up and towards the battery. So from this point, you need to grab your wiring harness that we're going to wire off of. So if you bought yourself a simple harness, it's pretty easy. This end goes down to the light bar. So as we know, our light bar is over here, so I'm just going to put this over here. Next thing we need to look at is the relay and power. Well, that can go over here. Let's put that close to our battery. You'll see there is a negative, which can just go to a grounding screw, and this positive, which has to go to our positive battery terminal. And then there's a switch that usually comes with this, unless you're wiring in your own switch over there, which if you are, that's awesome. Do that. So as you can see right here, we have a 3-position switch. Usually that means that it's gonna give power to some of the pins on the switch, so that way the light glows here. So as you can see, there's a pigtail on here. I'm gonna be taking this pigtail off so I can feed it through the firewall. I'll show you that in a second. First things first, let's see where we're gonna put our relay. Once you have your relay somewhere, you can hide the wires nicely. So your relay options are simple. You can either A, bolt your relay to the firewall like so. That's what I did with a couple for my other light bar. I'm going to be getting an S-Pod soon, so that's going to replace all these relays and stuff, and I'm going to have to relocate wiring. This is just all temporary. Or, if you know like me, it's going to be temporary. For these other two, I'm just going to be zap strapping them onto a wire bundle like so. And it's not going to move around too much, so I'm not too worried. And then what you can do is after you've done that, I'm going to clean up a spot right here, and I'm going to sand this. I'll show you, and I'm going to put my own ground right here too. You could, if you wanted to, go off a pre-existing ground if you want to look like there's one right here. So if you wanted to, if your wires are long enough, which I think ours will be, we'll see. They're pretty close, but you could put that on there if you loosen the ground screw. The other thing you can do is like what I'm thinking about doing. That is, I'm just going to clean off a spot right here, and I'm just going to put my own grounding screw right here. Now, if you're going to be doing this, one thing you need to remember to do is you have to scratch off the paint layer. If you don't scratch off the paint, then it will not make a connection to the actual body, and then your light won't work properly. It might flicker, who knows. So you got to make sure you get a good ground. So right now, get your power wire, and what you can do is just, you see the fuse is right here. Just zap strap it up and along there. Don't attach it yet, just zap strap it. The last thing you do is you attach them. So yeah, for now, just go ahead and run your power, leave it dangling here, and I'll show you what my ground looks like when I'm done. So as you can see, our power wires are right here, and I've just put them like that, zap strapped. I'm gonna put another zap strap and some tape, protect those right there. And then if you look here, I've got more than one fuse, but it brings your fuse right here, so that way if you ever have a problem with one of your light bars, you can troubleshoot from here with your meter. Keeps your fuses nice and close to the battery, which is what you want. The closer the fuses to the battery terminal, the better. So now that that's there, what I ended up doing is, if you take a look here, since I'm already drilling into the body here, just take your ground, fold it up, and then ground it right there. If you want, when you pre-drill the hole, like, use a self-tapper, self-tap into there, and don't worry, it goes right into here, so it's not really gonna wreck anything. And then right after you self-tap through there, if you want, take a piece of steel wool or sandpaper and just sand a little bit behind it. Once you do that, just screw your screw down, and it'll ground right to there. Now, if you have a plastic relay like this, where it's got a plastic type tip, put the metal piece under the plastic, because you want it right against the body. But since that relay clip on top of this one is metal, I just put it right there and it'll go right to it. So as you can see, it's grounded right there, power's right here. Now it's time to run the switch into the cab. Now the best way I found to do this is take your Jeep cover, grab it like so, lift up, and then pull towards you after it's up. Right there, you now have a straight shot to the other side, where you can either drill through the firewall, or if you have an automatic Jeep, there's a spot where the clutch pedal would go through. And since there's that, we can use that to our advantage. So give me one sec here, and I'll show you where that is. So as you can see, I started zap strapping. I got to right here. Now see right there where that blue power wire is going through? Right under that bolt? Right there. It's like a big McDonald's push pin. Like a thing that you put a straw through. Can't really get you a better angle on it, but you can, if you go inside, probably cut. What I did is I cut it open a long time ago, but all I did is I used a bit of a knife, and it's just rubber, so you can push things in and out through the firewall. So it's kind of good for putting stuff into the engine bay. You can see I've got lots of stuff going through there. So that's where you should push your wires through if you have that option. If you don't have that option, then you might want to drill a hole through the firewall at a different location, but for me, that works perfect. If you have one of these covers that go on here, all you do is you pry on this corner and then pry on the other corner. It'll bend out like this, then you can lift it out. As you can see, there's hooks and there's clips. Very easy to take off. Again, clips, and then the bottom is hooks. So pop out, lift out. Leave this down here. As you can see, I already have a switch on there. So you're gonna take the switch like so. Sorry, I've got two switches I'm running right now. And it's just gonna be this easy. Just stick it in through like this. And this is of course only if you want to put it on the dash panel. I like to put it here because It's kind of between you and this part here. As long as you don't have a ton of keys hanging off, you're fine. For me, it's perfect. It's kind of stealth and out of the way, and keeps the dash nice and clean, so people don't look inside your vehicle and say, wow, look at all these switches or something like that. Not that they're gonna be, with a Jeep, it's all bolt on the outside anyway, so if they want anything, they're gonna grab it. But after it comes out through here, if you go in underneath where we put the stuff through, ta-da, our two pigtails will be hanging here. Let's see if I can, there, right there, and then up there, this is the part where they're all coming through. So, like I said, if you're having trouble trying to squeeze them through, you might need to come in here with a bit of an X-Acto or something and just open up the sleeve a little bit. Just be careful if there's any wires going through here that you don't catch it on anything or cut any wires. So once you get your wires here, find a path and just strap it up and along through here and connect it. And then with this, I just bundle the extra down here, so that way you can still pull your plate out if you want to. That's why I've left that one looser, so that way I can still pull it in and out. Probably just gonna put these right below it, one here and one here. But yeah, that's all there is to it. After this, now we can solder on our light bars. All right, guys. So what I did is see if I can put this light down somewhere that's good. Okay, so I fished it behind this plastic cover. I used a zap strap, threaded it in from this side, so it threads in from there, like so. Let's see if I can pull one out. And yeah, I just slid it in through there, or well, I had the wire attached, slid it through here, and with much troublesome work, I got it to feed through there. You can see my shiny wire right there. After I got it there, I fed it under that mount, and from that mount, I've gone down here in the corner. Now I need to go underneath and check out how I want to run it there. I'm going to put one zap strap up here though, and then that's it. I've got all the way down to underneath the vehicle, and then we just have to attach that to the light bar. So I came down here, and guess what? The wire was just sitting right here, and my other one was of course right here. So I fed it around here. When I'm done, it's going to suck up tight against there, and I'll follow the fog light loom, and then it'll come up to here, and then it'll go, and then it'll just sit right there. There actually isn't any extra. I've just got it sitting loosely. This actually tucks into the bumper. Now, as you can see, I've just soldered my two joints. It's pretty easy, red to red, black to black. Now, a little trick I was going to show you guys is I'm just going to tape those two joints up. But then the other thing that I usually do is I slice off, because I actually cut off a lot of the extra wire. So off the extra wire, I take a piece of heat shrink, and if you don't have heat shrink, if you heat shrink them and stuff like that, that's all up to you. But you can take this, and then you can tape that up too, and it covers your two joints. So you could shove both the joints in here, but again, first tape these two, so tape them separately. First tape this, then tape this, and then if you want, you can either bundle them separately into each of their own heat shrink packs, or whichever way you want to do. Again, you could butt connect. It's all personal preference. I don't really would support butt connecting unless they're like marine grade or something, because if these get wet, you don't want, like if these get caught in a puddle of water or something, you don't want them shorting out. But yeah. All right, so as you can see, it's all zap strapped and cleared up, and if I put this light here, I can't really see anything. But there's the fog, and it's tightened all there, and it goes up there to the light. So now we can actually just go bolt on our power wire and go try it out. Very easy. Loosen off the 10mm bolt, and then just put the little horseshoe in and tighten it down. And then you're done. Now you go hit your switch on the inside of the vehicle and try it on. So as you can see, it's red when it's off and green when it's on. So there they are. Let's see them flipped on. Wow! Those are bright. Sure. Like that's them next to the headlight. Like those are some bright front lights. I like those. Those are definitely insane. Yes. All right, so those 7 inches are a little bit brighter. And then now we can, when those brackets come, put those pods up higher. And as you can see, all I did is I strapped them along here on the bumper. And then they go down behind the winch, which is just up behind here. You will literally wire just like my front light bar. That's why I said to go check out that wiring. So go check out that video for that. And if you're wondering about how to get through the firewall, I'll quickly tag that in this video as well. So there they are. Let's see them flipped on. Wow. Those are bright. Sure. Like that's them next to the headlight. Like those are some bright front lights. I like those. Those are definitely insane. Yes. All right, so those 7 inches are a little bit brighter. And then now we can, when those brackets come, put those pods up higher. And as you can see, all I did is I strapped them along here on the bumper. And then they go down behind the winch, which is just up behind here. You will literally wire just like my front light bar. That's why I said to go check out that wiring. So go check out that video for that. And if you're wondering about how to get through the firewall, I'll quickly tag that in this video as well.